Good afternoon. My name is Janusz Dziurzyński. I was here before, responsible for in ABSL. I'm a vice president responsible for events and also for wonderful digital forum. Welcome back, and as Paweł mentioned, we have two more elements to cover today, and the first one is super exciting, and I'm blessed to be here on the stage together with you. It's the final of the Tech Lab. As you remember, we started several years ago with the ABSL Startup Challenge. Changed the formula a little bit just recently, and today we are finalizing the ABSL Tech Lab with two exciting startups that will be part of a presidential debate. Before we do that, I would like to welcome two experts and ask them for the introduction to the session. First one is Ezra Yavuz, Vice President, IT, Global Data Management and CE, Central Europe, IT Functional Leader from Procter & Gamble. Welcome, Ezra. Good to see you again. And the second one is Ms. Justyna Orłowska, Prime Minister's High Representative for Government Technology. She is also Chief of Government Technology Center. These two experts will give a foreword before we start torturing our startups. And the startups, as you remember, are Random Forest and Just Stack. Welcome, Ezra and Justyna.
Thank you, Janusz.
Thank you for your warm introduction, and hello to everybody.
Okay, I would like to start. Can we get the clicker? Clicker.
Don't click us out.
I will try not to click you out. This is amazing. This is the first time something like this happens. Wonderful. Question to Ezra. You are the first one. This pandemic crisis has dramatically accelerated all kind of need for change of digital transformation. In the previous panel I had pleasure to lead in the technology breakout session. I heard loud and clear for the representatives of the sector that this acceleration was super fast. It was not actually acceleration, it was like 750 times acceleration, and it was confirmed both from the healthcare, consumer, users, and technology companies. How corporations like yours and how the administration, in your opinion, responds to this unprecedented acceleration of the digital technology?
Thank you, Janusz. First of all, happy to be here with the rest of the group, and thanks for the invite. Indeed, the global pandemic has emphasized one more time the importance of speed and the speed of change. And as a CPG company, we have been looking at the trends, consumer behaviors, and consumer trends as well, and then adjusting ourselves. So this is not new. What is new is we need to do this much more faster. We need to make decisions much faster and adjust ourselves to the new reality. And in order to do that, we need to have the necessary activity system and capabilities that will enable us to do that. So with the global pandemic, we have seen a rapid change to online. So our consumers started to shop online more than before. They started to look for product information online. They started to look for advices online. So as a corporate company, as Procter & Gamble, we had to switch very quickly, and we had to be there for our consumers where they are looking with what they are looking for. So I will give a couple of examples on what we had done and how we had changed the way that we are working. One of them is from our brands, Pampers. We have been partnering with the maternity schools, being close to moms even before their babies are born. But we couldn't do that in the traditional way that we were doing because of the global pandemic. What we had done, we had provided online materials to this school, to those schools that can use and leverage those in the virtual environment. At least substitute some of the traditional learning with the online materials that we can provide to future moms. And second, I can give from our community work that we have been doing. Although we continue to give products, masks and sanitizers to the people that are in the first line of defense with the global pandemic, We have also invested our funds to create online helplines that people are in distress, whether medical professionals or general public can access and get help. And the last example I can give is for our employees, the last but not the least, because our first duty is to ensure that our employees are safe. And with the global pandemic, we could just quickly adjust ourselves with work from home. You can imagine we're a global company operating in 70 countries. And we already had the right infrastructure and technology in order to enable that. We were familiar with the global context, remote work environment. This helped us to switch our work processes and then enable our employees to work from home. But at the same time, we acknowledge this may be stressful for our employees. And at the same time, we try to create virtual environment that those people our employees can still feel a part of a team, a part of a community. And we try to provide all the resources that they need and help them to be as effective and efficient as possible, like before. So those are the few examples. So again, to wrap up, all those things had to change very quickly, very instantly, very swift. So the importance is to act very fast in the global pandemic. This has been the theme overall. Thank you.
Thank you, Enzra, for this comprehensive answer. But if I would ask you the question, how well, in the scale from 1 to 5, P&G managed to respond to these changes? You gave us many examples, but what the score you would give yourself?
This is a very tough question. So I think we did pretty good, Janusz. So, and I think our employees will be the best position. Our consumers, our community will be in the best position to rate us. But I will refrain giving a round number to you. But my feeling is we did very well in this global pandemic. Again, everybody is going through this first time. And we are all learning and adjusting. We have a big growth mindset as a company. And we're always open to learn and be a better version of ourselves the next day. But I will refrain from giving a number to you. But hope our consumers, employees, and community will rate us very high in that.
Excellent. Sounds like a solid 4 to me. Let's move.
You will not get an answer from me.
Which means my guess was good because I would say something wrong, you will surely react. Justina, moving to you. We asked this question before today, but this is a different setup. We are talking about final of the Tech Lab and the ability of the companies and small companies and startups and giants and government and the public sector to respond to these changes. What were the biggest challenges from your point of view as we had to wrestle with the COVID over the last several months?
Yeah, so I am not clicked out. So this is the first success when it comes to those challenges, because it's not so obvious that all the conferences are going well, because we all remember the first time it was in March that everybody just switched to online conferences, and our networks around the world were really hot. Very hot. So it was one of our first biggest challenges. But let's examine what lies in this, I can say, accelerated transformation. And so 96% of corporations said that the pandemic has sped up their digital activity, and 66% said that by a great deal. 60% said that they implemented digital communication, of course, and over 3/4, just like something like that they developed stronger stay-at-home policies. And overall, a study by Twilio indicated that COVID-19 sped up digital transformation on average by 5.3 years. So it's extraordinary. And Now, this means that a large proportion of population faced a dynamic change. At the same time, only half have strong digital skills. We should not forget about this. This means that the other half will have had to adapt rapidly to the changing circumstances. We already seen this transformation occur, of course. Every second elderly citizen polled by the survey has said that the pandemic has helped them improve their digital skills. 1/3 said that they have access to technical support from their families if needed. And of course, the state is also active in this area. And big progress had been made to increase the accessibility of digital infrastructure. Almost every household, it's true when I'm saying that, has access to fast internet, and tens of thousands of school children in Poland received government assistance. Therefore, we were one of the few countries that managed to implement full school closure and remote education. Also, around 1,600 schools have adopted advanced remote education software since March, so only within the 9 months, which will help us not only during the pandemic, but also, I believe in that, in future. So while, of course, the pandemic poses, of course, a major challenge to many members of our society, I'm confident that we will emerge stronger, more resilient, and that we will soon make ourselves at home, but in the digital world, I can say.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Justyna, for this answer. Very interesting. Lots of numbers and lots of statistics. This sounds
econometrician. That's
right. Looks like a good score, but I will not ask you the same question. A quick follow-up, and now we need to be to the time. In a moment, we're going to be asking questions for the startups, and they will be given exact amount of time. I will ask you to answer this question in 30 seconds. First to Ezra. We are talking to the young tech companies today, and only 2 that represent this entire ecosystem of startups and young technology companies. What is their role in these special times of COVID? What is their role in this situation of accelerated digital transformation? 30 seconds.
Yeah, we are looking for out-of-the-box thinking entrepreneurship, and we like passionate people who are passionate about science and technology. That will give a fresh look and unbiased look to our business cases. What we are looking at as well is fast iterative approach, focusing on minimum viable products, and being able to learn very iterative way, and don't afraid of failing, because failure is also a version of learning, and this means next time you'll do better. Thank you.
Excellent. Hell of an expectation. I think that our 2 startups are a bit nervous now. Justyna, a follow-up question to you. You mentioned number of things that are here with us, and the acceleration and the new tools and lots of statistics. But which of these elements, in your opinion, will stay with us for good?
We are not going to go further if we are not going to improve our digital skills, so digital competencies. And it's need to stay with us, because otherwise we are not going to stay in this changed world, I can say, where we do have digital by default. Because of pandemics, the term that it was, I think its origin is in the United Kingdom, digital by default. So if we are not going to improve even further our digital skills, we are not going to survive, I can say. Sorry for this strong word, but it's very important that we need to stay with our digital skills and with this really quickly learning curve in order to be more and more digital competent.
Excellent. Thank you very much for this perspective. This concludes the introduction to the presidential debate with two of our startups. But before I say thank you to Justyna and Ezra, I would like to remind everybody that our sponsors for this year, ABSL Tech Lab, are Procter & Gamble, Citibank, and Łódź Special Economic Zone. So these are our partners for ABSL Tech Lab this year. Ezra and Justyna, thank you so much for this insights. This was a good warm-up for our startups. And right now, we are moving to the presidential debate. Okay, time to rock and roll. The main of the debate is consumer and employees. Are they really ready for a fully digitized approach? Here are the rules of the game. We will have 3 rounds of questions. After each of question, all startups, 2 startups, each and every one of them in the specific flow sequence will have 90 seconds for the answer, exactly 90 seconds. On my right-hand side, we're going to see a big clock that will be counting down the time. When you hear the gong, it basically means that your time is over. But before that happens, you're going to have like 10-second tick-tock to let you know that you should probably wrap up. I will be merciless, and I will interrupt you after 90 seconds. Then we move to the second question, to the third one. It's exactly the same. And after 3 questions, we will do the wrap-up question, and you will have a bit more time to wrap on these wrap-up questions, 2 minutes per startup. Now, interesting part. After every single question, the audience, so everybody online, will have a chance to vote. Vote, meaning giving their vote and their voice to one of 2 of you who managed to convince them to your point of view, who managed to answer this question to the best of abilities, your knowledge, and who really provided an insight that is valued by participants. Then, for the last time, after these two minutes per each, we're going to see the final results. And then what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up with the experts that I will introduce in a moment. And 2 experts with us will finalize and give our final thoughts on how they really perceive the scores and the ability of you to answer the questions. Ready? Steady? Let's go. Participants of today's debate. Łukasz, that you met before, CEO from Random Forest, and Rafał, who is Business Development Director in JustTag. Welcome and good luck. Our experts, Ezra Yevuz, who you met before, VP IT Global Data Management and CE IT Functional Leader in Procter & Gamble, and Iwona Dudzińska, Managing Director and Head of the EMEA AML Hub Citibank in Warsaw. Welcome, Iwona, and welcome, Ezra. We will be moving forward to this exciting debate in a second. Ready? Let's go. It's wonderful to see you on the big screen. We move forward with the first question. I ask first question, and we start in the sequence. First, Random Forest answers the question, and then we move to the JustTag. Okay? Question number 1. And nobody has seen these questions before. It's going to be a surprise. Current state of organization digitization of international companies versus the Polish ecosystem. We have big companies on one hand side, but we have Polish reality on the other side. Question to the startups. Where are we right now? Are these companies aware of the opportunities and threats of the digitization? Are they passing this or are they failing this? Are they ready to move forward with the trend? Let's go forward. Random Forest.
Good afternoon. Frankly speaking, I think that in Poland we are in very good situation as many great startups are located exactly in Poland. So I think that we have a lot of opportunities here in Poland as a startups to offer plenty of solutions for large enterprises. But from the other side, I think that large enterprises should think about how to how to manage, how to deal with the new era that is coming soon. So I think that it's not the case of be aware of the threats, but I think there's a lot of opportunities to change the vision of work, to notice that a lot of work is super creative, and we need to engage people to do their work, which is right now is a routine job, and move them to a very, very creative tasks. I think that many of you know the candor problem, and I think that the candor problem could be some kind of answer for the question, that we have a lot of opportunity to use our creativity.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for the answer. It wasn't easy to start, Łukasz, right?
Right.
Quite tough. Next time you're going to be privileged because it's going to be Rafał who goes first. But now, Rafał, you had 90 seconds to think about the answer. Let's see what you came up with.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you for voice. As a people, I think, as an employee, we are fully ready for this. Yes, I think that's such kind of activation that we are doing right now. Such kind of event is telling that, yes, we are ready. However, there are many obstacles and challenges regarding big companies, regarding transparent and law obstacles, and of course regulations that we need to be very careful and very careful and very, of course, ready how to cope with them. I think in this point, Polish, localization is very good, because we are doing, we can say, political and of course infrastructure transformation. We are between, we can say, two big countries, we can say, and we can first of all develop our own things using our own technology and scaling this from this part of the world to bigger countries, and this is a huge, I think, huge possibility for us. This is the very important part, and of course here big companies is looking for how to digitalize their complicated work, and I think as a Polish people here in our country we have many successes, and of course many different sources of how to cope with this. But this is only to saying, yes, we can do it, and yes, you can do it with us.
Thank you. Time is over. How was it? First round? Stressful, but good. You did pretty well. It was interesting to get your answers. Let's see what the public thinks. Let's move to the first round of voting, if we can. And let's see how our audience is looking at you providing your questions and insights. Can we show the statistics? Statistics is totally flat. Random forest, 100%. And, here we go, something starts. Let's give them a couple of minutes to see how this changes dynamically. It was interesting to hear from you the insight that the companies are trying hard. But with that answer, I had to conclude that maybe not hard enough, and maybe they can have a way to go. Both of you mentioned something interesting, that we are privileged and we are in a very good spot here in Poland. Let's see if this is true in the following questions. Let's have a look at the voting again. Dynamically changing. So, just a notch ahead. Let's see what happens. It's refreshing. You are going really close. Let's move to the second question. And now we reversed it. Rafał, this time we start from you. Earlier today in the conversation, I had the pleasure to listen to different companies, and they were actually challenging me, a moderator, can you imagine, that the digital transformation is not everything. That there is a world outside and not everything can be digitized. I.e., nobody says that the inevitable digital world is here to come and nothing can change it. Question to you, do you believe with that statement? Is the digital transformation and the digital world truly inevitable? Or maybe there is something that we don't know about? What are we heading for, and what are the consequences of that journey? Rafał, 90 seconds for you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, I think that it is inevitable, but for sure we need to be ready as a society, as a population, and of course at the very beginning as a company. I think that our kids, our children don't know not the digitalized world. So it's not the question if, but the question when. In our industry, I think we are here. We are fully digitalized, and of course, answering such demand question from our clients, how to make this digitalized. Of course, nowadays, I think make it more faster. This question we are answering in more detailed, in more frequent way than we were before, because for many companies, digitize means, okay, I can do it my business in this environment that we have right now, and probably in the next few weeks and few months. So the digitalization is yes, but I think we need to answer what means digitalization for everybody. It's not the same for company which is selling shoes, and not the same that the company which have 200 brands with 20,000 offices and 200,000, for example, employees. So digitalization is the question. It's not the digitalization as it is, but the question what it really gives me as a company, as an employee, as a normal customer, as a normal human being. And this is the right question that everybody should answer.
Time is over. I had an observation. You guys try to really use the time to a very minimum. If your answers are to the point and smart, you don't need to wait till the very end. Very good answer. I'm teasing you, Rafał. Łukasz, go ahead for your 90 seconds to answer the same question.
I think same here, that it's inevitable. However, we need to remember that if we want progress, we need to accept the change. So digitalization is one of the part of progress. There's automation, artificial intelligence we use, and digitalization. It helps us to change our world. So we need to optimize our processes. It's like the artificial intelligence work. So it's inevitable because we want to progress. We don't want to do some routine jobs, some rule base of left brain work. So we need to adapt very very first to the new solution we get. So in short, it's inevitable because we are in this period of time. We have a lot of possibilities to change our world and to use the absolutely novel methods to improve and to develop.
Hey, you listened to feedback. 10 seconds to go, and you finished. Excellent. Very well. While our audience is voting, yes, that's gong for me. As our audience is voting, it was interesting to see your response, Rafał, because you responded with the question, which is interesting. You said well, it depends what you really want to do. That was interesting. And again, Łukasz, good perspective. I enjoyed listening to your answer. Pretty comprehensive. None of you answered the question about consequences, but maybe question was too complicated for you. Who knows? Let's see the results. It changed over. Constantly refreshing. Random forest. Hey, you are catching up. Łukasz, well done. Wonderful. Time to turn it around, still with question number 3. Possibility to turn it around now. Question number 3 to both of you. Now we go with random forest first and Just Stack second. So again, Łukasz, you go first. No time to think through. And Rafał, you are privileged a little bit. Revolution and evolution. Honestly, you cannot control any of these. But do you believe in the world of digital transformation we can drive the change? Or maybe are we limited to continuous adjustments to the external trends? And any example would be actually appreciated. Any example would be appreciated. Random forest.
I think that there are plenty of different situations in history we didn't expect that surprised us a lot. We can say that we made plenty of mistakes to be here. Let's look at Post-it. We wanted to create it, or 3M company wanted to create the best glue. Christopher Columbus wanted to go to India, but we know what we explored. So we cannot control, frankly speaking, on what we are working. I know it's pretty strange what I'm saying, but very often working on some artificial intelligence models, we don't know what we achieve in the end. So we cannot control everything in the new world we are facing right now.
Okay, I can see this was not an easiest question. And of course, you didn't provide an example. Well, you did. Christopher Columbus was your example. Yeah, I prefer this to be more from the business point of view, but that he was also, in a sense, a businessman. Excellent. Now, Rafał, same question to you. Evolution or revolution? And an example.
Thank you. Evolution and revolution. I think the answer, it depends who you're asking. For us, it's evolution. For somebody, it could be a revolution. In history, we've got many examples that the revolution was destroying many new things, but building the new stuff from technology point of view, from political point of view, and from science point of view. You see, I think the internet, as it is, it was an idea for it to working like this that we have right now. So I will agree with Łukasz maybe in the point that we don't exactly know where will be in few years, few months, maybe in 5 or 10 years. But I think that we need to concentrate on a vector what is the technology is giving us. We are focusing on vector. So where we would like to be in 3 to 5 years and what we would like to achieve. For example, when we're regarding to artificial intelligence, everybody is feeling that in some time it will be understandable to see the emotions that artificial intelligence is regarding to us. Is it possible? We don't know, but this is a vector that we would like to be. So not making the artificial intelligence a human, but human that is involved in artificial intelligence. So I really believe that it's more about evaluation than revolution.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Very interesting perspectives. Thank you so much for providing this perspective. And while the audience is voting, I cannot help the observation that Rafał responded again with the questions. So I see some trend here. Interesting. Łukasz, very good answer, very good insights. Appreciate this very much. Let's see what are the results. Rafał, you're winning the hearts of the voters, but it doesn't mean you won it, because this one is not about losing and winning. This one is about presenting the insights. And in the end of the day, remember, our experts, Ivona and Ezra, will provide their point of view. Now, I have seen them making notes while you were speaking. I'm pretty sure they will be very eloquent and to the point in order to say what they think about your proposals and your answers. So now, everything can change, because now you have 2 last minutes, each and every one of you. We go Just Talk first and Random Forest second. So Rafał, you start, and Łukasz, you continue, or you start your 2 minutes this time. 2 minutes. You can take a smaller time, but remember the scores. You can still turn them around and win the hearts of the voters, of our participants online. This is the question for your 2 minutes answer. Do you believe that digitization should go completely off limits, or maybe we should work together to slow it down until when I say we mean not only us, not only tech companies and corporations, but the entire ecosystem, including government, education, academia, private and public sector, before we are really ready for this new world? Hell of a question, but you have 2 minutes to answer that. Rafał, you go first.
Thank you. Definitely together. Definitely together. I think it's totally new ecosystem. I think for whole population that provides great companies, great achievements, great new possibilities of using computers, knowing how to teach, and probably gaining many new things that will happen in the next 2 or 3 or even 5 to 10 years. However, doing it together, we need to be ready as a society to answer this very collectively regarding to regulation to transparency, and regulation to population, because each of new achievements, each of new technology that are making us great stuff also can develop some in political way not a good stuff. So going together, we can be much more. It could be much more easier to reach to provide proper regulations, to provide proper technology solutions that will be affirmative by customers, by clients, by our kids, by our parents, and so on and so on. It will be easier, more scalable for sure, more business oriented for sure, and I think the technology is the answer how to connect each of these game players of the scene, to achieve the goals for each other. For one companies, it will be new business model. For other companies, will be how to protect for example, kids for some not transparent content. For other companies, it will be availability to touch people around the world. So I think collectively working together with, of course, some workaround groups is the best, I think, choice to do it.
Ta-dam! Your time is over. You clearly said ecosystem, working together. Let's see what we'll hear from Łukasz. Łukasz, same question. Digitization, should we go completely off the limit, or maybe we should slow down till we are ready? Working together. Go ahead.
Frankly speaking, I'm curious how would you like to slow it down, because the decision how our new world will be looking for in the next 5, 10, 20 years is not our decision. This is this decision from younger than I, people who are 20, 25 years old, and they want to build and create the new world. So we cannot limit it. We cannot slow it down because of some regulations. How should it look like? In Europe, we are going to slow down to be prepared. Prepare for what? Artificial intelligence, automation, digitalization give us a lot of opportunity. It let us. You need to know that artificial intelligence, automation, it doesn't replace new work, our jobs. It creates new jobs. It helps us to delegate super routine work to artificial intelligence and let them do what nobody wants to do. So the new world is focused more on emotions, people who want to work with, let's say, elderly people. Elderly people don't want to have a robot as somebody who would care of them. They want people. So I think that the new world, as you call it, there's an absolute new opportunity for us to have more time for ourselves. So I think it's not time to make this decision. We need to go through it and change this world. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Your time is up. Very interesting perspectives. Let's see if the audience was convinced by a provocative answer from Łukasz and a bit more soft answer from Rafał. Łukasz says absolutely inevitable. Go with the trend. You cannot stop it, but we need to work. But we need to be careful and respect what people want. Rafał said, basically speaking, we need to work together, only together and always together. Let's see what the audience thinks. This is the last thing. Okay, what a swift, we have random moving forward. Your provocative answer, Łukasz, did something spectacular to these scores. Rafał, don't feel bad. You were winning all the way through and all of a sudden this just turns around. It's life, my friend, it's life. But nobody here is a loser. Thank you so much for your answers. I could see you were stressed. This was not easy, and this was not set up. Dear audience, they didn't know the answers. I checked with studio. They didn't know the questions. I checked with studio. They were not prepared. In some of the previous conversations, it was not necessarily the truth. But for this one, we really tortured this young man. Thank you so much, and congratulations for what you managed to exchange with us as your insights. Now, moving to Ezra and Ivona. Within 2-3 minutes, ladies, if you could summarize this for us and to share your perspectives on these 3 questions on the summary from 2 very bright young men. Ezra, please.
Thank you, Janusz. First of all, Rafał, Łukasz, thank you very much for the answer. Janusz put you in a very hot spot, but you both did very well. Thanks for taking the challenge and being here. The overall wrap-up I would like to do, and some of you have mentioned into that, I don't think it's for the sake of technology or digital transformation. It's all about starting with the business need, use cases in mind. So for me, what is important, like what is in it for the business, what is in it for the consumers, what is in it for the employees, what is in it for the overall society, what is in it for the overall global world. So from a corporate perspective, I think everything should start with a business case, why we are doing this, and then this probably will be complemented by the technology and digital transformation, but it's not for the sake of digital transformation. So this is important. And while we are doing this, obviously, we should always look into the policies, guidelines, security. This is all important. In the previous Connect, I was also emphasizing in that in the startup challenge. And I think digital transformation is coming. And I think we can't stop this. The point is that the recent months have shown us how technology and digital transformation is important to meet the changing, to be able to keep the pace with the changing world and to be able to meet the demand. Again, I'm looping back to my first point. Everything is about a use case and a business case that we can link to. So those are my wrap-up points. So thank you very much.
Excellent. And how do you think they did? 2 tortured guys, Rafał and Łukasz. How well or how badly they did, in your opinion, Ezra?
I think both of them did very well. I know it's a very stressful point. I wouldn't like to be in their situation, having those rapid questions coming from you, Janusz. But both of them did very well. And thank you for being able to answer the questions.
Excellent. You are kind of reading my mind, because my suggestion for the next round would be to actually reverse it, to make sure that our young tech companies are the judges and the commentators, while Ivona and Ezra will be up for 90 seconds answer. How about that? Ivona, same question to you. What do you think? Share your insights. You heard tough questions. You had brilliant answers. What would be your perspective? What would you like to leave the 2 gentlemen with and the audience with? Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Janusz, for that. And actually, I really like your idea because it reminds me of all the setups, like, the mentoring, reverse mentoring. Everybody can have a lot of benefits from that cooperation. And actually, even if you don't make it a live session, which would be absolutely, great probably, and good fun, maybe, for everybody. We already had it because we used to cooperate with the startups that were participating in the ABSL Tech Lab. And by that cooperation, we actually were there very much together. And this is what it is about, being together. So basically, when I look what I was hearing, I was not really hearing a lot of controversy in those what they were saying. They actually, I think we are all aligned about one idea. There were big companies and big corporations that they had systems, technologies, very much focused on clients' information security. In those corporations, I think Rafał has mentioned 200 people plus employed across the globe. Change is never an easy process. So when you connect all this together, this secure, huge environment and networks, and then you bring up this creativity, ideation, new way of thinking, it really is something that emerges. And I don't really think about this like a revolution. Of course, I agree. There were revolutionary points, like coming up with the internet was a revolution. A few other points in the history was a revolution. But we are in digitalization for now more than 10 years. And we are moving, obviously we are moving very fast, but this is not, as Ezra said, about automation by itself. We don't do that because we want to be number one in automation. This is not the purpose. We are doing what really the users want us to do, or what the clients, depending which business you are in and which business you operate. I am representing financial institutions. For me, the most important is to be the best for the client. And if they say us, they like the automation, they want to use it more, it can multiply their business, we do this for them. And sometimes we do this because we started the cooperation with the other companies, with startups, a long time ago. Like in Citi, we had Citi Ventures cooperating with Silicon Valley on artificial intelligence, on many other payment solutions, which are best innovative and best in class as such. However, we need to do this more, and we need to do this in each and every point of the business that we are doing, because otherwise we won't be able to run our business at the best age. So basically, if we talk about having this evolutionary process, it really depends on the state that each company is currently today. One company will need to do a real quick revolution if they want to stay on the market. And then they will need to support themselves with this innovation and quick kills, which will be totally out of the box very quickly. There are companies that have been innovating for a long time already, but connecting people from the companies and their way of thinking with the innovative startups and having, those thought together, mixed, and the lessons learned is one of the most beautiful things that can happen. Because as Rafał has pointed out, there are regulations, there are new things, environmental changes that the startups need to understand. And by the way, they are doing it better and better. On the other side, when the people working in corporations hear from startups, they can innovate better. And by the way, innovation is a very important point in any of the organization today, because in our world, our clients are more innovative. There are new generations coming, and that's why we need to address the needs of those new generation. So I would say that hearing to both Rafał and hearing to Łukasz, I heard, actually, by and large, a lot of same way of thinking and a lot of questions. And actually, we are not able to answer all these questions today because we will develop them going forward. I can only say that until today, having this exposure and having that ability to work with the people from Random Forest, from all other startups that we were cooperating with, we had great exposure of our teams to them, and we could work together on great ideas, and we hope we will take them forward for further development.
Wonderful, excellent, great summary. Thank you very much, Ivona and Ezra, for this. I cannot hesitate to ask you to do the virtual turtle with me, or virtual żółwik. I start with Łukasz. Łukasz, give me żółwik. Excellent, right. Thank you, Łukasz, very much. Random Forest. Same with you, Rafał. Żółwik. Excellent. This is it. Ezra, next time we see in person, cheers. Take care. Ivona, thank you so much. Wonderful. This is it. New era, new way of saying bye-bye to the wonderful panelists, and in this first ever Tech Lab Grand Finale, completely offline. Łukasz, Rafał, congratulations. Next time we swap roles. Ivona, Ezra, thank you much for your comments and for your insights. Thank you very much for being with us.